If you've ever experienced it, you know that living with a narcissist is a lot like living in hell. No joke. One of the women I coached put it this way. She said it was a lot like living in a cult of one. She was the only member, and her husband expected to be treated as the god. Narcissists have this inflated sense of self-worth that comes actually from a fragile ego. Now, some experts debate that and whether or not that's the case, but from everything I've seen, that's exactly what's happening. Narcissists most often become narcissists because of childhood trauma, involving not feeling good enough, not measuring up. In some way, multiple times they were told by a parent or another prominent adult in their life that who they were was not good enough. As a result of that internal painful programming, they vowed to never again look weak, feel inadequate, or feel worth less. And when I say feel worth less, I separate those words for clarity. They hate feeling worth less in any way, less than they are right now. Any hit to their worth makes them feel attacked. The slightest action or thought or opinion of yours that in any way interferes with their ego feeling safe will be met with swift retribution. They will never allow themselves to feel that childhood pain again. So anytime something even approaches a scintilla of closeness to it, they freak out. That's why you keep getting in trouble for everything that you do that doesn't involve worshiping them. That's why you can't have friends. Friends take away your time from them. That's why they hate when the kids need you. That's why they don't fight fair. That's why they threaten you when you're not doing what they want you to do. And that's why any and every accomplishment of yours is crap in their eyes. In their twisted mind, everything is a competition where their ego has to win. It has to be protected at all cost. Once you understand that everything the narcissist does is to protect the ego at all cost, their actions become understandable. Without that context, though, it's futile to try to understand them. Trying to understand psychosis through the lens of sanity is a totally losing battle. Narcissists don't operate in reality. They operate in their own reality, which is why they're constantly changing the story and making up their own version of things as they go along. Have you noticed that? What better way to control a situation than to create it? We've got a video on that if you haven't seen that yet. It's called What is Gaslighting and 5 Steps to Deal with It. This need to protect the ego and control situations is also what drives their bizarre behavior of constantly creating chaos and then denying that they create the chaos. If they can create chaos and you respond to it, what does that signal to them? It signals that they have control over you and the situation, and that is wildly satisfying to them. Rather than have your own ideas, which are scary to them because they can't control them, you get wrapped up in responding to them and what they're doing, and that's so much better for them. If they do something wild, create this chaos, you're confused as to what's going on. You want to clear up this confusion by doing what? Whatever they tell you to do. When you do that, they gain even more control. It's a huge win for them. They create the drama, you respond, it comforts them because they know that they're in control. Then you're willing to do whatever it takes to resolve the drama, which means you're willing to do whatever they tell you to. They win on all fronts. If you've experienced any length of time with a narcissist, it probably seems like you'll never win with them. They will never treat you well for any length of time. They'll never respect you. What you do will never be enough. You will never feel understood. You will never win an argument. You probably have lost a lot of hope. Guess what? There is hope. There really is. Despite the current reality, there's hope for a better future. I'm going to share with you some thoughts about how to outsmart the narcissist. There are a few levels to this, so your situation will dictate what might work. If you're just now figuring out that your significant other is an abuser, a narcissist, the first thing to do is to get educated on emotional abuse. Learn what abuse is. Learn what gaslighting is, what crazy making is. Learn about intermittent reinforcement. Learn about trauma bonding, reactive abuse. When you understand in clear terms what's happening in your situation and you recognize that there are actual names for what you've been experiencing, it's kind of crushing to see just the reality of it. But then you can start to see the light. Now, once you've learned about these things, don't tell your partner that they're a narcissist. Remember their main concern in life, the thing they want more than anything else? It's to not look weak, inadequate, or feel worth less. How do you think telling them these things will be received? It'll be seen as an attack on the ego. So just keep it to yourself, okay? Now, if you've already learned a little bit about abuse and you know what abuse is and that you're being abused, but you don't know what to do about it, this next part is for you. Stop reacting to the narcissist. Yeah, that's right. Stop playing into their game. Stop doing whatever it takes to keep them happy. Stop reacting to their chaos. Stop defending yourself when they accuse you of something, usually something really wacky and wild. And it's usually something that they themselves are doing, by the way. We call that projecting. Stop reacting when they put you down. Stop explaining yourself and your emotions to them. Stop telling them everything that you would otherwise feel guilty not telling them. If you haven't learned it by now, the narcissist gets this huge rush out of you playing to them, reacting to them, living your life around them. It signals that they're the big dog, that you're going to be there for them, that you'll do whatever it takes to keep them happy. Boy, does their ego love that. It's going to be extremely hard at first. You're programmed to respond, to defend, to justify, to explain, to beg, to plead, and to ask them to forgive you for something that they did wrong. Don't do it anymore. Now, you are responsible for your own safety. So if what I'm proposing makes you feel uncomfortable about your safety, please call the National Domestic Violence Hotline. You can reach them at 800-799-SAFE. 800-799-SAFE or thehotline.org. They will help you create a plan to keep you safe. The technique of not responding, we call that gray rock. In gray rock, you become as uninteresting, as uninterested, and as dull as a gray rock. Apologies to any geologists out there. The rest of us understand, though, that a gray rock is typically, for the most part, unremarkable. And that's how you want to be when interacting with the narcissist. When you're not getting upset, defending, or in other ways living your life around them, it shows that you're not easy to control anymore. The first thing they'll try is amp up their behaviors to get that control. Scream louder, make wilder accusations, try to bait you into an argument, complain more, blame more, attack you in front of others, shame you, threaten to do something that they think would be devastating to you. And why do they do that? Because they're used to that working. And what should you do about this? Not respond. If you do respond, it signals again to them that they can manipulate you into responding because they know you hate conflict. They know that if they push on you and do all their wild stuff, you're going to cave in. But don't cave. Stay strong. Sure, you're going to mess up because it's hard to break the pattern. They'll try to force it for a while. And if they're a psychopath or a sociopath or somebody violent like John Meehan or somebody else like that, that's where it's really important for you to watch for your safety. I'm not messing around with this. This is no joke. If you fear for your safety, you have got to get the right help. Local resources, the National Domestic Violence Hotline, the authorities. Get some help with that. If they're not violent, if they're not a psychopath and not a sociopath, and you stick to boundaries, your abuser figures out over time that you're no longer fun. The narcissist needs to be in control. That means that they need a fight that they can win. So what they'll do is move on and find somebody else that's easier for them to control. So how do you outsmart a narcissist? You get educated on emotional abuse. You understand the terms. You understand what's been going on in clear terms, so that mentally you're prepared and you know what's happening. The second thing you do is you learn to set and stick to boundaries and stop reacting to them. You become gray rock. Respond simply. Short sentences. Don't get riled up. Don't react when they blame you or accuse you of things. Speak simply and learn to use phrases such as, okay, well, you've got to do what you need to do, if that's the way you see it. Simple phrases like that. And remember, you are responsible for your safety. So another way to outsmart a narcissist is, if you are in physical danger, get out. If you would like additional resources on how to break the cycle of abuse, recover from abuse, learn what abuse is, move toward the peace, freedom, joy, happiness that you deserve, you can find all of that on our website, stopemotionalabuse.net. And if you click the link below, you can access our free abuse recovery guide.